There we go. So, good morning, Jules. Finally, we get to chat, and I'm so excited. I've been having a look at your website, and I'm obviously part of your Facebook group as well. There are days when I've had my down days, but you've posted something in your group, and it's just really lifted me up. So,
Oh, that's great.
just to give you a short introduce you to everybody that's listening. So, you own Compassio Coaching.
Yes, I do.
You have over 30 years business experience. You've worked with small and large businesses and your own business, which you took into Dragon's Den, which I'm dying to find some more about that. And now you run Compassio Coaching, and you help people to realise the potential. So what we're going to be chatting about today is the day in the life of an entrepreneur. So I know a lot of my audience work for themselves. They're female entrepreneurs. And it can be a bit of a lonely journey out there sometimes.
Okay.
So we're going to learn about not being alone. Life is too short. Hopefully you're going to share with us some of the lessons that you've learned from running your business.
Yeah.
Over to you. Tell me about Compassio training.
Okay, so Compassio came about, I think, because I drifted, if I'm honest with you, for the last, 8 to 10 years, even that long, just drifted in and out of different jobs. I was headhunted on occasion. Can you come in, head up a sales team, Jules, build our sales strategy, because I'd done sales since I was, 21 years old. So I went in time and time again, same behaviour, hit the same barriers and the same brick walls, which was just so frustrating. They ask you to come and do a job, and then they don't support you or they don't buy in. It's kind of standard stuff, really. But so I'd go and I'd just do a great job, and I'd hit targets and I'd exceed targets, because I don't believe in doing something half-hearted. And I just kept thinking, I'm so unfulfilled. I'm just not doing something that I really, really love doing anymore. And the whole idea of sales for me, I think I fell out of love with it, to be honest. I think that was the real thing. And then I thought about, well, what have you been doing for the last 10 years that you did love? And I ultimately was dealing with people. I love people. I ran teams. I coached teams without probably even realising it. We hit targets together, which felt amazing. I saw them grow as people, which felt amazing. So all of these things, and I thought, this is what I really love doing. I love developing people. So what can I do next? And I did happen to just see, as you do, I think, these things come to you, Catherine. I do believe that. I saw this free 2-day course around coaching. Come on our course. I knew they were going to sell to me. I knew that there was a reason why it was free. But I was ready, actually, for them to tell me what coaching was all about. And from there, I signed up to my diploma, which I'm almost halfway through, I would say, which has been really great, because it's a toolkit, it gives you all that substance. And I started Compassio Coaching, and I have just absolutely loved every second of what I'm doing right now. So that's kind of where it's come from.
That's fantastic. So what is it about coaching that really gets you out of bed on the morning, that really makes you go, yes, I want to do this, I can do this? What is it that really ignites you?
I think the thing about coaching is that people always actually realise what they want to do, but they don't know how to do it. So they've all got aspirations, they've all got their goals, their dreams, but many people sit on them and they just don't know what to do with them. And with the skills of coaching and the way we work, we're able to just unlock that potential. And just the sessions, where every session, Catherine, is different, because every person is different. We're all unique. And I never actually go into a session knowing quite where we're going to go with it, if I'm really honest. I literally use my skills as we go along. And so I'll come out of a session where somebody has really uncovered something that was very deep down inside, but it's allowed them to move on in such a massive leap, so it's so rewarding to watch other people grow. And then you sit back and you think, I helped them to do that. Just the little way that I work has helped them to see loads of different things. So that's what gets you out of bed, I think, in the morning to do coaching.
And what kind of clients do you work with? Is it mostly females or entrepreneurs or small businesses, or are you just open to whoever needs your help?
I am open. I would like to make sure that I do a good element of corporate work because it's where I've come from. So I have worked for many bad leaders, and I'm sure a lot of people will resonate with that. And what I want to try and do is get into that corporate world where I can coach the leaders on how to actually manage their teams and how to coach their people. So I'm quite passionate about that. But equally, it's really the same thing because it's the same subjects that resonate around private one-to-one coaching. So an element of my work will be with people who have confidence issues, self-esteem. They've got goals they just don't seem to be able to reach. So it's helping with that kind of stuff too. So there is a wide range. But the people I think who are finding me are entrepreneurial. People have started their own businesses with the Facebook groups and such that we're in together. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your Dragon's Den experience. How did that come about? Because I'm dying to know.
So Dragon's Den was 2005. Right. So would you believe that's 12 years ago? Wow. And I always find that quite amazing. So I had my son in New Year's Day in 2005.
Oh, wow.
My beautiful little boy, Samuel. So I'd been running a business with my husband. I'd been in corporate world. I'd done all of those things in sales predominantly. Had Sam, and I said to my husband at the time, I don't want to come and work for you anymore. Bombshell.
How did that go down?
Well, he was actually really supportive. But ultimately, I needed to do something to do with babies because I was completely in love with this little boy who had come into my life, as I still am today. So I wanted to definitely still work because I was definitely entrepreneurial and I was very driven, but I wanted it to mean that I could still be with Sam. So I looked for companies that sold baby products at parties. We were all doing Tupperware and Summers, jewellery. We were all getting together, having these fabulous parties, very social animals as we are. Nobody was doing it with baby products. And I just sat back and said, why not? So I started Truly Madly Baby. I started to... Yes, that was the company. That's me. And I just got this lovely collection together of all sorts of baby stuff that wasn't necessarily on the high street, so that it was nice and niche. And then I took it out to parties. I recruited women from all over the country via Net Mums and Mumsnet, all those lovely sites. And by the time I applied for Dragon's Den, I already had 6 consultants who were out doing parties, and they worked on a commission basis. Anyway, saw this advert for Dragon's Den about 7 o'clock in the morning in my dressing gown. And I thought, I'll apply for that. Ha ha. Building my application. Richard came downstairs and I said, guess what I've just applied for? And I said, Dragon's Den. He laughed. Because we'd watched the first series and we loved it. Yeah. So he just thought it was really funny. Anyway, by 9 o'clock that morning, the BBC actually called me and they said, we love your application. We love your business. Tell us more about it. So I did. And the next day I was at BBC Television Centre filming to a tripod camera in a little meeting room. And 2 weeks later, that quickly, I was in front of the Dragons. So that's how I came to be on Dragon's Den.
Oh my God. And how was that experience?
Amazing.
Duncan Bannatyne, Pete Jones, Deborah Meaden and Theo.
No, Telling My Dragons, they were Rachel Elner, who was the Red Letters Day lady. Yeah. I also had Doug Richards, the American guy. I had Duncan Bannatyne, who was delightful. Yeah. And I had Theo, who was the new dragon on that series, and Peter. So my dragons were relatively tame. Doug Richard was a bit rude, but that was okay. And basically, you went down to the night before to a hotel, all paid for. They took you to this secret location in East London, which was like a disused warehouse, which is what you see today when you watch it today. Same place. Only they've got a lift now, Catherine, and I had to walk up the stairs. Just thought I'd put that one in there. And then you're kind of thrown in this green room, which is a bit like a doctor's waiting room, which is quite interesting. Lots of people in there ready to pitch. Some have been there for 3 days and been told to just keep coming back.
Oh, God.
Yeah, seriously. And then we were down at 7 o'clock. We were down in makeup by 10 o'clock in the morning, and we were filming by about 11:30. So we were right in really quickly. Richard came with me but said, I'm not coming on the telly with you. So halfway through, I was asked if I'd done a business plan. I said, oh yes, my husband Richard helped me to do that. Oh, can we see Richard? Can you bring him up? So of course he was on the telly, which was just hilarious. He said about 4 words, bless him. That was great. But we were in front of the Dragons for 2.5 hours.
Really?
So it was a very, very long time. Yeah, it was like a proper business meeting. And then all of a sudden they would say cut, you know, because they'd obviously got to change the film.
Yeah.
And then they'd drag you off, give you a drink of water, and then put you back on the X, ready to start again.
Wow.
Yeah, so the whole experience was amazing. Ultimately, I had investment offers from Theo and Peter for the business, which I could have fallen over. It was all just such a blur. I couldn't believe it. And I went with Peter. I chose him on the programme. But the deal was pretty naff, to be honest. Right. Bad contract.
Really?
So I didn't sign it, and I carried on with a different business partner and carried on for the next 3 years building the business.
Wow, gosh, but what an experience, because when you stood in front of 5 very knowledgeable business people who clearly live and breathe and do this every day, you must have, I would imagine you learned so much as you were going through that process, but did it also help you to clarify everything that you'd put in your business plan? And
yeah, I think it did, because in 2.5 hours you get some really interesting questions from them, and they're very valid ones because these guys know what they're doing. They've also, most of them had a failed business, so they know exactly what they did wrong, and then they've hopefully by the looks of it done it right again. But yeah, there was a lot of that, definitely. And equally, I think there was just my sheer passion for what I was doing. And the thing about Truly Madly Baby, it wasn't just about Sam in the end, it was about mums. So ultimately I was able to allow mums to stay with their babies but earn money selling baby products. So it was just like this win-win-win-win scenario. And by year 3 I had over 400 consultants out doing parties and turned over $1 million. And we went into profit. So it was just an extraordinary growth in 3 years from my back room in my house. But sadly, the business partner I chose was just not really the right one, and that's where the learning starts to come in. Because she didn't help me in my business how I thought she might. And when we started to run out of money cash flow wise and needed that second level of investment because we had grown so quick, she said that she wanted 75% of my business, and I couldn't stomach that when I built it with blood and sweat. And I'd said no, and she took the business into administration and bought it back, and I was left with nothing. I was left with absolutely
terrible.
Yeah, but then that's why my story's the way it is, and that's why we've all got stories. And I'm so much stronger. I am so much more knowledgeable now, and I am doing my own business again. So you know what? This is possible. That's the point, isn't it? Yeah, it's a good story. It's not a bad story.
No, absolutely. But like I say, you learned so many things from that, and going forward not to make the same mistakes again.
Yeah, you do. But you also talked about the whole entrepreneur thing and us as entrepreneurs and how lonely it is. And it is lonely. And I think when I had my business, I didn't really have the internet. It wasn't quite how it is today. And I think today as an entrepreneur, you've got massive opportunities to connect with so many people. And so you don't have to be lonely. It's a massive message now for me. Just reach out and connect,
Absolutely. I mean, I mentioned at the start, there are some days when I get up and I just think, I just literally can't get my head around this today. But what I tend to do is jump onto one of the Facebook groups and just reading the posts and the positive stories, and it just kind of lifts you up. And I don't know, I mean, I'm I've been working with 30 odd years now, and I can't remember a time when people were so accessible.
Yes,
You can sit in your
exactly.
living room in your pajamas feeling like crap.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
half an hour on Facebook group, and like you said, reaching out and connecting with people and just putting, I'm feeling a bit vulnerable today, and
yeah.
it can turn your mood around. And I can't remember ever a time in my working life where it's been like that.
No, I
And
agree.
the opportunities that are out there are incredible as well.
Mm.
So give me a day in your life then. How would it work? What would you, are you an early bird? Are you late night owl?
So when I had my last business, I used to probably work about 20 hours a day. And I really kid you not, I could never switch off. And I have to say, it's my biggest advice out to people, you know, make time for you. It's really important, keeps you fresh, etc.
Yeah.
But I've still got this in me, you know, I can feel it. I just have this passion and desire to just keep going and keep working. So my days have to be really quite structured now. I have to be very disciplined with myself. And yes, I am an early bird. I easily could wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock and start thinking about my work and my day. But I try and now structure it. I have a very rigid to-do list. You know, I write down things all the time, and I'll tell all my clients to do the same. Write it down, write it down.
Yeah.
And I work through that list. And when I've crossed things off, it's just great. It's a massive goal. Tick. And I've done really well. Give myself a little bit of a reward at the end of the day, whether it's chocolate or whatever. Floats your boat. I'd always say do that as well.
Yeah.
But my day's structured. It has to be. So there's an element of PR marketing that I'll be doing because I'm still building all my brands and everything. I have a period of study because I'm still doing my diploma.
Yeah.
And then dotted in, I'll have coaching sessions, and I'll usually do a little bit of prep before those coaching sessions. But ultimately, they're run by the client, not me, if that makes sense, because that's where the good work happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, structured, and I stop and eat, and I stop and have a cup of tea, and I finish and spend time with my son as well. We walk the dogs and things like that. So
Yeah.
really important, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were going to give one piece of advice to somebody that's just starting out, I know you said, you know, make time for yourself. What else would you say to them if somebody's just starting their entrepreneurial journey?
I think there's two pieces, if I can. One's a business kind of focused piece of advice, and the other is a personal piece of advice, because there are two elements of what you'll be as an entrepreneur. And that's really important that you keep the two pieces together. Mm-hmm. So you have to have your personal stuff so you make time for you. And in that personal stuff, you've got to think about giving yourself reward, making sure it's quality, not just sitting on your bum with the telly on when you finish work, but really doing something so that you're fit and your mind's good and you're keeping healthy. The other advice on the business side is I would really, really think about what your business is, what you want to do, who your market is, what you're trying to achieve, and why you're doing it. The biggest thing is why. Why are we going through all of this, building our businesses? What's the ultimate reason why we are doing what we do? And that's going to be part of your marketing piece as to why you do it. So I would say think about those two things when you're starting your business. Okay.
Well, thank you ever so much for chatting with us today. I've learned an awful lot whilst we've been sat here. Making notes.
Oh, bless you.
But just for a little bit of fun at the end, if there was to be a film made of your life, who would play you?
You know, it's so funny because you'd already prompted me about this question. I'll let the audience into that little secret, which I'm so glad, because I don't know what I would say otherwise. But do you know what? I asked my son, because I thought that would be a good idea, because I wasn't quite sure. I had someone in my mind, and he said Sandra Bullock. And I said, do you know what? That's what I thought too. Yeah. And he said, well, you don't necessarily look exactly like her, but you're so like her, you're so funny, and I think, you know, she's a strong lady, I think he said, and it was just really lovely, his whole description of her and why he'd chosen her. So our choice in the White household is Sandra Bullock.
And I wholeheartedly agree with that. She's got great determination, she's got passion, but she's also very elegant and very articulate, and I think that's come across really well in this interview. So thank you ever so much for that. I do hope you've enjoyed the experience. Details for Julie's website and for the special offer. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your promotion?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a promotion at the moment where I'm doing 6 sessions, 1 hour sessions, and I'm doing those for the price of 4. So the sessions at the moment are £50 a session. So you would get 6 sessions and save obviously £100 on that price.
Right.
And we work them really with you. We don't have to do them in a certain time scale. They're just 6 sessions for you.
Okay. And if we wanted to find out more, where would we go? Is it onto your website?
Website's a good place, which is compassiocoaching.co.uk. I guess you might post that so that the spelling's right. But Compassio actually is Latin for empathy, just in case anyone was wondering.
I was going to ask you that. That was one of my questions.
Yeah, that's where it came from. So compassiocoaching.co.uk, but I also have a Facebook page, which is Be the Best You by Compassio. So if you look that up, you're very, very welcome to join us. Catherine, I know you're a member, so the more the merrier.
I highly recommend it as well.
Thank you.
All the links back to your website and to your Facebook page will be in the show notes.
Thank you.
And we'll put details of your promotion in there as well, so if people want to find out more, they can link through to your website.
That's lovely.
Thank you so much for your time today, Julie. I have thoroughly enjoyed this.
And thank you for asking me, Catherine. It's really great doing things like this because it's just so lovely.
It's about collaboration, isn't it? And if we don't help each other, then, you know, what's the point of being in this if we're not going to pull together, I think. So thank you so much for your time. And like I said, the details for this and all the links back to Julie's website and the Facebook group will be in the show notes. Right. There we go.